What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Monday, April 1st, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the engaged one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
How you doing, sir?
I've been better.
What's happening?
A little out of breath
You
right
literally
now.
ran into the building.
Yeah, I spent a little too long prepping Internet Explorers at home.
Sure.
I was like, I still got time to get Starbucks.
Sure.
Spoiler, I didn't.
Okay.
You know, but
Yeah.
it was down to the minute.
Yeah.
So I had to run the whole block and.
Oh, no.
this man
That's
ain't
not what
made
these
for
bodies...
running.
These bodies aren't built for running no more. If
So
ever.
I'm sorry if I'm a little out of breath. But
No, it's fine.
Okay. Also, I do have a grievance to pick with one Kevin Coelho.
Oh, shit.
It seems like the light bar is not the correct color.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Thank
maybe
you.
if
I
you were here
appreciate
for
that.
tech rehearsals,
We would have been good.
You know what I mean?
Little known fact, we actually run the whole show.
we do one
before we
rough
do the
draft
show.
before we
Yeah,
get out there and
yeah.
actually see what happens. How you doing? How you feeling? We just got back from Kansas City
We did.
last night. Thank you so much to
Wow.
everybody who came
What a
to the
great
Kinda
convention.
Funny World Tour, Kansas City meetup, and Planet Comic-Con. The convention, the panels were amazing. The turnout was the biggest
300
turnout.
people?
Biggest
Yeah, most
turnout
so
we've
far.
had. Yeah. We had the place packed all night long. Was
Yeah,
it only
man.
300, you think?
Yeah, Matt. Only 300. 300 is a lot of people.
I know it's a lot of people, but I felt like people came and went. People,
They did.
the
They
line never,
definitely did.
the lines never dissipated for us.
If I had to guess, I would say that Arizona was a little over 200. I
Okay.
would say that this was a little over 300.
Gotcha. Okay, fair. I'll take it. I'll take it.
More than that.
It was great.
What was that, Kev?
I said it felt like more than that. A lot of people.
Sure. Yeah. Kev was there too. How you feeling, Kev?
Good.
Yeah? Did you get some
pretty
sleep
good.
last night?
Yeah, I got some.
Good. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. Portillo's here today. If you're an audio listener, he's on the couch.
Wearing
He's
his
on
little
the,
vest.
Wearing his vest. He is wearing his little life preserver. The Hell's
like it.
Kitchen vest.
It's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tim, are you excited to talk about the DriveClub servers shutting down?
Yeah.
Are games being closed today and the repercussions of swatting? I hope so, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Over there, you can give us your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun. Then watch us record the show live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, on roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you today. Speaking of roosterteeth.com, all the content over there is free. Nothing is locked behind the RT paywall that is Rooster Teeth First membership. So that means you can finally go watch Waiting for the Punchline for one day only.
Absolutely free. You can go to kindafunny.com/punchline right now, and the video will just play.
Oh, that's a very smart way to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And happy
Smart.
16th birthday to Rooster Teeth.
And that means 16% off
16.
everything, right?
Does it?
Doesn't it? I thought
I
so.
don't know.
I'm pretty sure I saw
There's
that
so many
somewhere.
sales.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah. When they're 100 years old, it'll be all free.
Yeah, wow.
101, they'll start paying you back.
kindafunny.com/store.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
I've done no fact checking on it. Saturday, guess what? You're on the clock, New York. The Kinda Funny World Tour comes to Ease Bar in Morningside Heights. This is a 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. meet and greet in New York City. Come out, see us, say hello. Can you, the city that never sleeps, the Big Apple, part of the tri-state area, can you bring in more people than Kansas City? We shall see. If I want to meet somebody from Maine and I want them to come in wearing a lobster hat.
Yeah, dude. Do it.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Tom Bock, Blackjack, James, Davis, and Mohammed Mohammed. Today we're brought to you by 23andMe and Skillshare, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 5 items.
A baker's dozen.
I got just a bit of rasp. The Kansas City bar, I had made a lot of announcements, and their microphone didn't work, so I was yelling from the gut for the first time in a while. I guess I yelled in the panels, too.
Yeah.
You yelled at
Good
Liam.
panels.
Yeah.
That sweet little boy.
That sweet little boy, Liam. Wherever you
R.I.P.
are, we're sorry. We're sorry. I Tombstone Pile Drive you, which was the worst thing I did to you. Don't listen to anybody else on the internet. Number 1. The DriveClub servers are shutting down in 2020. This is a report from Robert Ramsey over at Push Square. DriveClub is nearing the end of its road, it seems. A new notice on PlayStation's official website states that the racing game will be delisted from the 31st of August 2019, meaning that it will no longer be sold in the PlayStation Store. That goes for DriveClub, DriveClub Bikes, DriveClub VR, and all DLC associated with DriveClub. On top of that, the game's servers will be shut down on the 31st of March 2020. You'll still be able to play the offline portions of the release, but all online functionality, the multiplayer, challenges, events, and leaderboards will be lost. It's an announcement that leaves a bitter taste because DriveClub did eventually blossom into a top quality racing title. It received stellar support from developer Evolution Studios before the company was closed back in 2016. It's incredibly unfortunate that the game was never quite able to shake the negativity that had surrounded its shoddy launch in October 2014. First impressions always count for a lot in this rather unforgiving industry. This actually, I saw this obviously get posted over on it was a Friday after Games Daily of last week. We were already in KC. Saw it get posted and then it got risen up today because Sammy Barker, also at Push Square, put up an editorial kind of really lambasting Sony for this. And I pulled something for it to give us a discussion jump off point. Little Big Planet may still be running, but why would you ever want to invest time and effort into the upcoming dreams when the company is acting this way? The thing is, this isn't an isolated incident. Gravity Rush 2 recently had its entire online component removed after fans campaigned to keep it alive for a few months longer. In the case of Cat's sophomore outing, it doesn't actually detract from the game, but it's a bad look all the same. The sequel was barely a year old before it wanted to pull the plug. Killstrain, meanwhile, didn't even get a year. It was shut down and erased from history like it didn't even exist in the first place. Drawn to Death is next in line. Blackjack jumps in with the pertinent question over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, Tim, and says, "Hey, Greg and Tim, what's good? On Friday, Sony announced the DriveClub will be removed from the PS on August 31st and servers will be shut down on March 31st. The list of features that will no longer function for the game is quite extensive as it was designed with online play as a focal point. As exciting as an all-digital future is, should news like this give us pause for multiple reasons?" Let's start there, Tim. What's your takeaway on this?
I feel like it might not be a popular opinion, but I don't think that this is
corporate apologist
end.
motherfucker.
Exactly. Let's go with that. I don't think that this is the end of the world because I don't think that this affects every type of game. It affects a certain genre of games and certain genres of games very much.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any getting around that. Whether like for the looking at Gravity Rush, right? They're just like, oh, fans petitioned, they want it longer. How many fans were actually petitioning? How many people actually wanted this to keep going? And even then, when would they be happy? 1 more year, 2 more years, 3 more years? It's like there's no point where it's going to be an acceptable answer because people just want it to go on forever. But if people aren't playing forever, enough people aren't playing forever, then it simply doesn't make business sense. Now take the business side out of it. It's just like if there aren't enough people playing to begin with, that's not going to be a great experience for the people playing anyways, right? I think that we just need to understand that video games aren't what they used to be. Video games aren't just you buy the game and you have it, and they haven't been for many years.
Do you think there should be there never will be, is there a right to consumer, is there a right to us as gamers to sit there and we buy a game and we expect this to be online for X amount of years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that that's a very fair thing to happen, and I think that should happen, and I think that it might have to eventually. I think that we need to move into that. I just don't think there are enough of these games, enough of these situations that have happened yet to make people go like, oh shit, this is something we actually have to deal with. Right now, there's a group of people that really care. Majority of people don't care at all. You know? Because you look at the games that are online only, that this would be a huge issue. Imagine if World of Warcraft just...
We're pulling the plugs.
Gone, right? Yeah. League of Legends, Dota, any of those games, just were like, we're pulling the plug.
Now, keep in mind, they will happen.
Eventually.
Right? Yeah. DC Universe Online is going to close down one day, and I'm going to cry.
Yeah, and it's like, with the ones I said, maybe they won't. It's like we're in a new world where no, it's like people are going to play these things forever because that's what they grew up doing. But I do think that there needs to be some type of promise of like at least how long this will last, how long that experience will be up there for. I mean, they're putting these dates out there. It's not like the consumers have anything to do or say about it, but didn't they already have something to say about it when they didn't buy the game?
Sure. Yeah, it's a ball of wax right now, and I feel it's one of those situations where I don't think there is we're never going to get a thing. Maybe you'll get going forward on big budget titles, like, at not even what do they call it? PlayStation State of Play before E3. That's not E3. They'll announce a new racing game. All this online stuff. And then in an interview, somebody's going to pin Sean Layden down and be like, hey, what about this? Maybe he's going to say, we've built this with in mind that it's going to be online for at least 3 years, right? Even then, people are going to be like, that's not long enough. Even then, I can't imagine they're actually doing that they're making these games saying it's going, because this is a dollar and cents things, right? Like, as Push Square brings up here, they talk about Killstrain, right? And Drawn to Death. Both those games designed to be online only, right? Those were the ways to play those games, is to go on. And I think Drawn to Death might have had a single player like tutorial, but you know what I mean. It was meant to be played arena shooter. Killstrain was PlayStation's answer to mobile. both of those were experiments, and I'm probably too close in terms of covering those games, but I remember Sony San Diego being like, these are experiments. We're trying stuff out. The fact that Drawn to Death, kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong, was designed to be a free-to-play game, right? And then the free-to-play market changed, and Guns Up did fine. Killstrain took forever and nobody liked, and then they made Drawn to Death actually a paid thing, which people got cranky about in the same way. Not cranky about, but it was that thing of like, it's a game nobody cared about already, let alone then they tried to do that and it didn't work. And the same thing happened with Lawbreakers, if you remember, where Lawbreakers was supposed to be free-to-play, and then Boss Key was like, you know what, no, while we've been working on this, the market's already changed. What's interesting about all this is I don't think there's a solution. I don't think there's an answer. I think what we're talking about, you will see more of. I think you will see, as we go forward, bigger developers and bigger publishers being more as honest as they can be. Of, we're making an online game, we believe in it, and we think if you believe in it, it can go on for decades. However, if you're not, it can't. So we're promising you a full year of free content. Hopefully there'll be more. Hopefully we can do expansions, blah, 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 all these different things. But then there is this weird reality we have to face, and they face as publishers and developers, right? Of, for DriveClub in particular, right? Like, there isn't even a studio that works on that game anymore. Like, Evolution's gone. So then it is like, all right, cool. We see the daily stats of who's playing and what they are and how many people are using all these really intricate features that rely on these servers. What do we do if those numbers do dip below where they're actually costing us money, where there's no way we're ever going to make more of a return on this money? You talk about like a successful product and a launch and how many copies you need to sell. What about when we cross that line where now we're eating into what the thing actually moved? Let alone DriveClub, not that great as an example as Push Square brings up, because that was such a quagmire. That was such a bunch of failed, fucked up promises.
A lot of the games that they were talking about here have similar situations. I think Gravity Rush might be the only exception to that.
And Gravity Rush's online thing was so not like a main thing.
Yeah, it's like that was a feature of the game, not what the game was. Yeah, exactly. Right. We're just moving into a different place, and whether that's good or bad, it's the reality. Like, I remember, I collect music. I enjoy music. I am a fan of collecting physical albums, whether they're vinyls or CDs, specifically for certain artists. And I'll never forget, at this point, 15 years ago, when they first put out digital-only EPs, and how upset I was.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't own this. Like, what's going to happen when this just doesn't, when it's taken down and doesn't exist anymore? But then I realized the way for me to collect this, I need to have hard drives with these MP3s backed up so that I own them, so that I have these.
Blackjack continues. My biggest concern isn't even as a consumer, but as a lover of video games and their rich history. DriveClub was a game with a long and troubled development. It was one of the first PlayStation 4 games ever showcased on stage. There were hundreds of people who poured their hearts into it, even if the final product was critically underwhelming. If the video game world was all digital right now, then DriveClub would essentially be lost forever. Should Sony be allowed to simply wipe any game from existence? How will we chronicle the stories of the developers and the games they worked on if we can no longer play the games ourselves? Should physical media continue to exist in perpetuity so that we may always be allowed to reflect on history? Love you guys, Blackjack.
It's such a nice sentiment, but that's just not how. That's not feasible. That's not realistic. And again, we're talking about a subsect of games. We're not talking about all games.
Sure. I
will be shocked if the God of Wars of the world don't get released in physical form for years to come.
Yeah.
Many, many, many years to come. Hopefully to the point that a digital only future, like, I feel like when we say that, we don't actually mean digital only.
Digital majority.
It means you can go digital only, I think, is really what we're trying to get at, right? I don't think that even when that comes, that we're going to not have physical if you want that as an option. And
it's going to be like vinyl. I've always say it's like vinyl. The people still press these discs. They'll just understand. It'll be limited run kind of things.
Yeah, and I do think that eventually, far, far, far in the future, when it is a digital only situation, there will be ways to own the digital side in the same way I can own MP3s.
Yeah.
Right? And have them backed up myself in ways that I can launch them whenever I want. Games get more complicated because if you're talking about servers and you're talking about, gameplay functions that are tied to playing with other people, I don't know, that does get hard. And yeah, like, the history of video games is important, but at the end of the day, is that importance worth the dollars and cents to a company that doesn't care? The answer is no.
Well, I think, again, when we talk about hypotheticals, we tend to talk in such black and white, right? Of, okay, it's digital. Okay, this is it. Okay, Sony's wiping their games from their servers, blah, blah. To Blackjack's point, should Sony be allowed to simply wipe any game they want from existence? Yes, 100%. Sorry, I know that's not a popular opinion, but Sony is a company. They are a private entity. They're allowed to do what they want with their PSN. We're allowed not to agree with it. I'm allowed to think it's ridiculous. You still don't have name changes or the beta or whatever, or how they've treated where the fuck's Patapon 2. I'm allowed to have all these opinions. It doesn't mean that Sony isn't allowed to do that, especially the way it's being phrased. Like, should Sony be allowed to? Well, yeah, it's their thing. It's their ball. If you don't like how they play with it, don't go to their yard kind of thing, which isn't a great answer, I know. However, dialing it back though, I feel like to get out of the black and white of this, you have to look at people like myself who every time I transfer a PlayStation 4, I make sure I transfer PT. Like PT isn't available anywhere, but I still have PT. And I feel like as we get going, that's how you get into this more and more, right? Is that, all right, cool. There is a subset of people like you, Blackjack, that care a lot about video game history and go out of their way to maintain libraries and keep arcade cabinets running. Like, I mean, in a similar thing, should Midway be allowed to stop producing the switches for certain arcade cabinets from, well, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like, it's how technology and a consumer industry moves. It's up to people who care about that to keep that going. Exactly. Now, again, that gets dangerous what about when all the PlayStation 4s finally break and you can't get to PT or whatever and blah, blah. That's reality. But I also think we've moved to a point that it sucks to see things lost to history when you talk about it like that. But again, how many with YouTube and channels and video property in general, like no game's ever truly lost again, is it? Like, we're going to be able to go watch it. Granted, you won't be able to play it, and I know that's not the same thing, but I can't tell you as somebody who's covers video games professionally the amount of games I know about but have not played. I've never played Custard's Last Stand, right? But I've watched enough of it and been like, oh, I get what's going on here. Now, granted, that's notable for a different reason, notorious for a different reason than, hey, this. But again, are we looking at this and go, and I don't mean to think that video games are disposable, but did DriveClub do something so awe-inspiring and different that we think no one's ever going to do it again or better? And to the point that if I'm playing, and stick with me, 20 years from now, there's a new racing game out on whatever platform we're all playing. It's being beamed into our eyeballs. And we're playing it, and we're amazing. And somebody's like, well, this all started 20 years ago with DriveClub. Does watching a YouTube video of what they're talking about, what mechanic they're doing, not explain it enough? And granted, I know, it'd be better to play it. It'd be better able to have that. Again, to what we're talking about, we're not crazy that they're taking the servers offline. They're going to stop selling the game. If you already own the game, you own the game. It's on your PlayStation 4. Theoretically, and I could be talking about my ass. Sean Layton, you're welcome to write in. I don't think I guess it's being delisted is what they said, right? Hold on. Let me try to walk through this.
Because another thing is, if they stop putting dates out when they're going to take it down, I think it would be a bit more like icky. Yeah. Like if it just was gone today, then I could see a big problem, right?
See, it's being delisted on August 31st, 2019, meaning it'll be no longer sold in the PlayStation Store. But if I still have it on my licenses and I bought it, I should still be able to download it, correct? You're wrong me if you have information on that, but I doubt you do unless there's been an article or some statement about a different game, but I'm not sure on that one. It'll still be there, and there was a disc for DriveClub, so you can get it that way and have it forever and play it that way too. You won't have the online functionality of it, but again, I'm from a novice person who played DriveClub at events, and just racing games don't do it for me. Did it do something that we needed to worry about and like keep it there? But I know that Blackjack was expanding his a bit further out into it, right?
VR was really cool, and weren't they like the first people to put it?
Well, yeah, because they were like back when it was the Morpheus, they were ones who were like, we're looking around, toying with it, and doing stuff. Yeah, I agree.
I'll still have that.
Exactly. Yeah, you can still do that. Yeah, were you racing online with it, right? Like, was that?
No, but afterwards it did show you other people's numbers.
Sure.
And like there was the.
And that's cool. I'm not trying to say that ain't cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an unfortunate truth that we're in. Like a perfect example for me is Amplitude, the PS4 version. Yeah. At some point, I'm never going to be able to play that game again. Like there's no way that the licensing in my PSN account and my PS4 dies, and no matter how many times I transfer or whatever, at some point, I don't think I'm going to be able to play that game again. And that is very unfortunate. And I wonder what the solution to that is, because is that true? Am I wrong? With PT, you can still get PT if you're trying to get PT. You know, it might not be through a way that is easy and just Sony's giving it to you, but you can find PT if you need PT. I wonder if I'll be able to find Amplitude one day, and I imagine that you will. Look at video game history so far. Like, I grew up not having all these games, but I knew about them, and I had access to all of them if I wanted to, right?
Wink and a nudge.
I imagine people are going to continue
figure out
that
ways
forever,
to,
right? Halo Combat Evolved, the first Halo, didn't have online until fans made it have online. If there's a community, they'll make it online again, right? Halo's not the best example for that, but Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? The servers went down years ago. You could play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater online today, or Underground online today.
Sure.
Because the fans made that happen. Not the same at all.
Yeah.
But it's the spirit of the history. It's the spirit of what you're looking for.
That's the biggest thing is I think it's easier for us to talk about what's come before than what we think is going to happen after. Because we don't know how this all works out in the end. And we could be wrong, and it could be a scary future, and these things are lost, and you can't play them anywhere because every PlayStation 4 breaks on 2030. Nobody, you know what I mean? April 1st, 2030, every PlayStation bugs out and locks up and goes down or something. It's I don't know. It's a weird thing to wrestle with, I guess, but it's also because but even I guess that's the thing is I feel like this could be a Fortnite crossplay or a cross progression system where I didn't care too much about it till it directly affected me. Where I was like, wait, now that I understand this problem, it's stupid.
And that's why I try to bring up Amplitude.
Even right now, exactly with DC Universe Online, I'd love to be able to jump in every so often for the rest of my life. But I'm aware that I've put hundreds of dollars into that game, let alone hundreds of hours, and one day it's just going to be gone. But for me, it will be that I'll go back and watch a video of it and remember it more than I need to jump back in and be like, wait, what do I do? How do I do? I was rolling a controller now, but I need to be a DPS. They changed out the load. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I came to, when I got my ticket punched on that one, I came to terms with that's how it's going to be. And the same things of, and maybe I'm being naive and just talking too much from my own perspective. When I bought other games that had online, service that wasn't peer-to-peer, or I was going to somebody else's servers, I understood that one day that might not be there. And that, those trophies would be, untouchable in terms of stuff I care about. Yeah. Like when they shut down the Ghostbuster servers or whatever. Like, okay, cool, whatever. But I understood that price of engagement when I did it.
I've seen so many people talk about this in many other ways and other news stories that have happened in the last couple of months and talk about like, how can you expect a digital future to be reality when things like this happen? And I just feel like people's understanding or like what they're looking for in this digital future is different than me. Because I'm looking at it as a supplement, in addition to my normal gaming habits, right?
Yeah.
Having Xbox Games Pass is not the only way I'm going to play games. It's like if I want other games, I'm going to buy it because I want to have it on my system, so I don't need to worry about cloud stuff. I don't need to worry, and I know you can download from that. But like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like it's 100%. Always just kind of extra, and video games are now hitting the point that they have with movies that they have with video games, where it's like I buy movies in 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray when I love them and care about them. Otherwise, they are disposable. That's what Netflix is for, and Amazon Prime and Hulu and all these things. I see them as it's just disposable content that I'm enjoying, and I feel like video games are turning that way too. And when I see that differently, I need to shell out the money to get the version that I want. And then it's not going to exist for every game in the same way it doesn't exist for every movie, doesn't exist for every MP3 and album that comes out. But if you care about this stuff, you gotta take initiative and back things up. I have extensive hard drives and backups of my music because I care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so much stuff that if I lost my hard drives, it's not online anymore. I'll never be able to get it again. But I am an understanding of that I need to preserve that myself.
Sure.
I can't count on anyone else doing that.
Yeah. And I think then it comes down to, what is your... And this is where it gets so weird when we talk about ownership of games, right? I don't think it's up to Sony to protect that stuff. It's up to you to protect that stuff, or any publisher, you know what I mean, in terms of what matters to you. And then, if you are a DriveClub person, Gravity Rush was able to get an extension, right?
Yeah.
Is there enough of a DriveClub fan base right now to get out there, promote it, show that there is a thing here?
It's like Gravity Rush did it. And like I said earlier, it's like there's no answer that's going to make everyone happy.
Yeah, eventually it's going to end. Eventually they're going to stop having it. Yeah, but it is an interesting debate in an industry that definitely needs more in terms of what is your expectation here. You know what I mean? What you got is October 2014, right? So you're going to have 6-ish years with it, maybe 5.5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that good enough for you? Are you still playing DriveClub every day? Are you still setting times and scores and stuff to that effect? Apparently, according to Sony, you are not. Running through this real quick for an early section, you're wrong. Shaunosaurus says, in fact, yes, it is a 16% sale on the Rooster Teeth store. So kindoffunny.com/store, what have you. Nanobiologist confirms that, yes, Drawn to Death, Greg, you were right, was designed to be a free-to-play. And then, as I thought there would be, there's much debate over what delisting actually means. Kebabs is using PT as a delisting example to say if you could not re-download it. However, then Albino Yeti is saying when Marvel Ultimate Alliance got delisted, people who already own the license could still download it, which I think is the difference there. I personally, and I don't fucking know, personally, for me, sitting here with no business or legal degree, PT was a free demo you downloaded. We've taken it away now, and you can't get it anymore, period. Marvel Ultimate Alliance you paid the money for, you own that. I don't think we can take that away from you. So in the same way of this is if you bought Drive Club, yeah, we're delisting it so no one else can buy Drive Club because we don't want people buying a $60 game in 2019 they think is going to be on forever when in reality you already bought it so you can still keep playing it or stuff like that. That's how I interpret it, but there's also a link here to from Capitalist Pig with a PlayStation.com thing of going through. He's saying there is no information about being able to download the game if you already own it after that date. So it's a little foggy right now. I would say you're probably gonna still, if you own it, you're probably gonna still be able to download it. But that's just me talking out my booty, saying, "Hey, this is what it's all about." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. No, Alex Russ says, "Wait, what?" I'm saying, again, this is going back and forth with different examples. We'll look into it. Try to get your real answer. Number 2, this is an interesting one. Over on Reddit, the subreddit r/games is closed for the day. They put up locked every post on there and then put up one post that's sticky to the top that reads in part with this. It's much longer and worth the read if you want to go to reddit.com/r/games. This April Fool's, we've decided to take things a little more seriously and shed some light on a growing, pervasive issue that has affected the community of r/games and gaming communities as a whole. In recent times, it's come to our attention that what has been intended for a forum for the potential spread of knowledge and involvement in video games has instead become a battleground of conflicting ideas. Ordinarily, this isn't an issue. Discussion by its very nature is certain to bring argument, but when that argument descends into vitriolic attacks between individuals on a regular basis with no chance at de-escalation, that's when, simply put, something's got to give. Though certain memes, parentheses, such as Gamers Rise Up, in parentheses, surrounding gaming are largely viewed as a humorous interpretation of a mindset, at the core of the humor is a set of very serious issues that affect all gaming enthusiasts. By showing disdain or outright rejecting minority and marginalized communities, we become more insular. In this, we lose out on the chance to not only show compassion to these people, but also the chance to grow our own community and diversify the demographics of those involved in it. Whether it's misogyny, transphobia, homophobia, racism, or a host of other discriminatory practices, now is the time to stymie the flow of regressive ideas and prevent them from ever becoming the norm. At r/games, our community is becoming increasingly responsible for perpetuating a significant amount of these combative and derogatory schools of thought. We remove those comments, we ban the perpetrators, but the issue still persists at a fundamental level. The notion that it's okay or acceptable to ridicule or demonize traditionally disenfranchised traditionally disenfranchised and marginalized members in the gaming community. This is not just an issue on r/games or on Reddit alone. This is an issue deeply embedded in the raging depths of the internet, frequently in communities that center around the discussion of games. Despite the strife that's both within and caused by our community, there are a multitude of opportunities to prove that we can come together to be a more wholesome, accepting community that exists on a single core idea, enjoying and discussing video games together. So let's revel in what's available to us and also appreciate the myriad of backgrounds that we as gamers come from. Our differences and experiences comprise the diversity in the content that we consume. And by allowing ourselves to appreciate those differences, we change our perspectives and interpretations. This applies not only to games, but life as a whole. And then they went on to list a whole bunch. Again, I'm paraphrasing a lot. This is a very long, I thought, well-written post. And then they put up stuff for LGBTQ plus charities, people of color focused charities, women's health charities, and additional causes in general. I thought it was a really cool move.
So here's the thing. I obviously think it's a really cool move.
Yeah.
I think it's a little misplaced to do today. Like, I think that this would be a little better served any other day that's not April Fool's, that's not a day based on jokes.
See, here's my thing. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so I cut out the thing where they're like, no fooling, like no April Fool. Like
I saw this.
Okay, cool.
And I read it, and they opened with that.
Yeah.
I just think that April Fool's Day already has so much just energy towards it, whether it's positive or negative. There's the people that want to just see the stupid photoshops and laugh, and then there's the people that like want to be angry at the people posting those things, and then there's the people that are just like getting fooled, and it's just there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this gets lost.
See, here's my thing with you. I disagree. For me personally, especially, and I'm not one of the guys. I hate April Fools, right? But today is such a wash for anyone doing anything serious that it's just like. I feel like today's like a day of like, well, whatever. Like, and not to mention everywhere you go now, all the sites are talking about this. I think it's actually super refreshing to go there and have this not be that. where I'm going to go to this place that's one of the big stops for gaming news, right? And have it not be here. Here's a roundup of all the April Fool's Days jokes. Here's something else that's happening, blah, blah, blah. I think they stand out by doing that rather than blend in a weird like, oh, is this a joke or not a joke? Like, no, very seriously, hey, from the front, this isn't a joke. We're shutting it down today because we need to have a conversation with ourselves.
I get that, but I saw so many comments that are like, still, like, wait though, like, is this really their perspective? This must be a joke.
Sure. Well, that's them reading the headline and not clicking through. Like, and hopefully it encourages them to click
that's
through.
That's the problem with April Fools. It's like you can say it's not a joke as much as you want, but it's like then a lot of times it is a joke, whether or not they're saying that. And I know that this is super serious, but I think when something's this serious, you don't want to like connect it to a day where things are jokes, you know? And I'm seeing a lot of comments of people that are taking it that way. Like the people that disagree with these viewpoints are like, oh, obviously it's a satirical look at what's going on here and whatever. I have my own opinions about those people, but this is, at the end of the day, this is great. And I think they did a great job like explaining what's going on.
Yeah.
I will say, and I've always thought this, I don't understand how video games are so tied to this nonsense. Like why video games? Like why is it that gaming culture is so tied to these beliefs that are so weird to me? And
so you're saying the beliefs that like for discrimination and misogyny or whatever.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's just weird that gaming's so tied to that in a way that nothing else is.
I think, I mean, and I'm armchair quarterback in the situation. I think it's the fact that it's not even that. I think it's that gaming is so wide. The net is so wide and so mainstream, right? And I think that what we've found time and time again with video games as a community is, and I'm talking about all of us, is that we are so much more dialed in to being online and having a discourse. Where it is that we're all on Twitter, we're all on Reddit or whatever message board of your choice. There's so many people out there that we engage talking to each other way more than any normal person does. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know of my regular friends who even knows what Reddit is and would think to go to Reddit and have a conversation with people, right? Or the YouTube comments. But we as gamers, I feel like so many of us, and I'm including myself in this, not in the hateful part of it, but in the part of, cool, I wake up in the morning and I'm brushing my teeth and I open up Twitter and I'm there and I'm talking to people, or I put on a video on YouTube in the morning and there's comments there and maybe you respond to one, or it is that I'm browsing through my Reddit while I'm doing something. You have that second window open at your desk like so many people do while you do whatever you're working on, and you pop over and you make a comment. And granted, this is us and is part of our job is being out there, right, and building our community and stuff like that. But I think that applies to a lot of our audience too, of just like, oh, well, yeah, I'm at a computer all day. I'm on my phone all day. Yeah. So I do get in there and I do that. And I think when you do that, you start seeing then, not that it's I don't think that you go per capita through video game people that you're going to find there's more misogynists here than there are out there. I think it's just in general, we're all way more used to going in and sharing our beliefs in a public forum. But it also wrestles with the fact of what we lose all the time here and why Twitter arguments escalate and don't make any sense, and you're like, you would never say this to somebody's face. Why would you say it here? It's because in real life you'd have a conversation over a drink or whatever. On Twitter or whatever, it is a distraction. This is not even my secondary thing I'm doing right now. This is my third thing. Somebody says something and I fire back a response and I hit it and I send it and I don't think about it, and then they respond and we argue back in 280 characters rather than, well, hold on, this is my perspective and my point and why I came from this part, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I just think it's so silly that gamers is a thing that we have to be anyways. We've talked about it a million times. You don't call people that like movies moviegoers. Yeah. Right? And it's just like, it's even more silly that then gets lumped in with the bad parts of all this stuff. And it's that's like, it's tainted now. It is. I mean, like, that's just what it is. And like, that's so problematic. It's just ridiculous that gamers is now associated with these horrible things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just people that play video games.
Right.
Wow.
And that's my thing with why, again, I really back this decision to do this, and today even, of just that it is a fact that, one of their things is, the subheads on this post is, I think, do better, be better. You know what I mean? Like similar to my be better to each other thing, right? And I know that this is what we talk about all the time with YouTube comments. Where, right, like for 99.9% of YouTube channels, like it's a lost cause. Like, you can't keep up with it. You can't do it. The moderation tools aren't as good, blah, 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 right? I know that in the industry, a lot of people think of, man, Reddit in general, what a cesspool of people, like, da, da, da. And it's like, well, no, there's great people like myself that go to Reddit all the time and try to have a normal conversation, but sometimes they spiral out of control with somebody else getting in there and trying to troll and do whatever, right? I thought it was a really cool statement to see games, a huge subreddit, be like, hey, listen, like, today we're not going to do this. We're just going to do this. And that's, yeah, they're like, tomorrow we're going to open a mega thread where we can all talk about it, but... And you know that it's going to be backlash, and it's going to be people unsubbing, and there's going to be some, well, we're starting our own r/whatever. And like, all right, cool, go do it or whatever. But I thought it was a cool
I wonder
move.
what they're going to call that one.
Games with a Z, duh, come on. Number 3, there's a Sega Genesis Mini coming, and Matthew Handrahan over at gamesindustry.biz has all the info. The Sega Mega Drive Mini will launch on September 19th this year in both North America and European territories. The self-contained console will be known as the Sega Genesis Mini in North America, and it will ship with 40 games in total. I don't like that Matthew's over in the UK putting his spin on it. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to. We know what the Sega Genesis Mini is. Sega has confirmed 10 of the titles. Echo the Dolphin, Sonic the Hedgehog, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zone, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. The hardware will ship with 2 wired USB controllers and will be priced at $79.99 in the US, $69.99 in the UK, and $79.99 in Europe. You on it, Tim? You getting it? You can have another one over there, your little mini systems?
I mean, I like these things. That's
Why are you going to buy this one?
You know, we'll have to see. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine not wanting to have it just because I want all of them.
Yeah.
But looking at this lineup, they have a lot to prove to me. Like, I hate how many goddamn Genesis collections we have.
Yeah.
And they're just like, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, okay, what about 2?
Don't
And
put 2 on there.
especially,
2 will be on there.
What about 3? Maybe not,
Yeah,
because they
3's getting
fuck that up all the time, and I don't know why. It's licensing shit. Like, that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't do these when you're missing out on these key games, especially for something like the Genesis that, like, let's be honest, is not the most high quality written console of all time.
Okay. It's a good console.
It is. It is. It's
Okay. Good. Just make sure.
It's a good
I mean,
console.
that's my thing. Is like, I grew up a Sega kid, right? So this is the first. Hey, we have a mini. They didn't do a mini Sega Master System, which sucks. But they did a mini Sega Genesis here, right? I'm like, oh man, that's really cute, and I love the form factor and a lot of memories. I do not need to buy this. I have played this collection and platinumed this collection already. I don't need to go through and do this.
And that's the biggest thing with the Sega side of it is they have put out countless collections of these same games over and over and over on every system under the sun, right? Sometimes they're good ports, sometimes they're bad ports. What will this be? Hopefully on the good side. I don't necessarily have faith in that though.
Yeah, we'll see. Is that how math works? Yeah, holy crap. Number 4. Sony changes the PlayStation 4 refund policy. This is Steve Watts over at GameSpot. I wrote Watta, but it's Steve Watts for sure. But it's Watta reminds me of Watto and Witta.
Yep.
If Gary Witta and Watto had a child, it'd be Watta. Sony has revised the refund and cancellation policies for pre-orders and purchases through the PlayStation Store. Under the new policies, you can refund pre-orders and purchases under certain criteria. According to the store cancellation policy, you can cancel a digital purchase within 14 days of purchasing it and receive a refund as long as you haven't begun to download it or stream it already. If you have started to use it, the content must be faulty to obtain a refund. Pre-orders can be canceled and refunded anytime before release or within 14 days after payment was taken for your pre-order, even if the release date has passed, with the same restrictions. Finally, the same policy will apply to season passes and promotional bundles. The site notes that it only applies to consumables ordered directly through the PlayStation Store, since purchasing through a game itself delivers the content immediately and therefore isn't eligible for a refund. It also suggests turning off automatic downloads if you think you might need a refund or on a pre-order, since automatically downloading it when it's available will make you ineligible as well. Subscription services like PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and Spotify Premium can be refunded within 14 days, even if the subscription has started, but the refund amount could be prorated for the time you've already used it. How you feel about that?
Cool.
I know a lot of people have been pushing and wanting different stuff on how to do
that's the thing
this.
is, like, I feel like this stuff just all needs to be defined. You know, I don't think that there's a right answer, but I think that there are questions that need to be answered, and that things are going to keep changing, especially over the next couple of years in video games. And we'll get there eventually, but yeah, there needs to be just defined rules, and then when there's less questions, I feel there's going to be less issues.
That's a good one. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, everybody just spell it out and make it easier to find, right? Similar to this or the DriveClub servers or whatever you're going to do. Dmon AKA TheDmon AKA the Big Dill writes in to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Here, I'm not gonna lie. Dylan, I half-assed that because I wasn't sure where it was going. Let me do it. Dylan AKA TheDmon AKA the Big Dill writes into patreon.com/kindafunnygames and says, hello KFGD crew. I have an interesting thought over the weekend regarding some moves Sony has made recently. We all know that Sony is no longer selling code cards to GameStop and other retailers. What if Sony is making an all-digital version of the PlayStation 5, maybe even the PlayStation 4 as well, and they realized how much money they could make by cutting out the middleman and forcing people to buy their games digitally through the PSN? They could make so much more money, and the PSN would have to compete with the likes of Amazon and G2A, especially when G2A offers games for lower prices than most retail all the line. What are your thoughts?
What's G2A?
I don't know. I was hoping you wouldn't ask. Now we look like fucking morons.
G2A. Interesting.
Kindafunny.com/you're wrong to explain what GTA is to us old people who just buy our games off of the PSN and Amazon and don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, look, I mean, this goes back to what I was just saying. It's like everything's changing, and it's going to be a
G2A apparently is G2A.com. Kevin's pulling it up right now, and you can buy games there. I'm starting to think Dylan probably just works at G2A.com and wants everybody to buy his stuff there.
Weird website, has a lot of weird products that I do not condone.
A lot of pop-ups popping up. Yeah, I don't know if Dylan, get out of here, you CEO of G2A.com.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Also looks like it's European, so it's not on us.
Yeah, I think that we're in a very interesting place, not just with the console wars, right? But also the wars between retailers and digital storefronts.
Yeah.
Specifically, how many times can we talk about this now? Epic versus Steam. Nobody ever thought Steam was going to have competition. They do now, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought that Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo would put such a big power move against GameStop in this way because they rely so much on
get the boxes on the shelf.
Get the boxes on the shelf.
You got to sell the PS5, even if it's all digital.
Exactly. That's the thing. And this is a move, man. And it's like, how long have we talked about GameStop going away? How long will it exist? And every single one of these moves just more and more turns GameStop into Hot Topic.
Yeah,
where
and you've seen it, right? You've seen GameStop,
Funko
do
Pops.
some restructure in the last year. You've seen them talk about their stocks being down. You've seen it, their vice grip on the industry and retail really start to weaken, which is why I do think you're starting to see moves like this, where Sony's getting serious about their refund policy. Getting bold about saying, all right, cool, we're not going to sell full game codes in GameStop anymore because they must be looking in the back end at where their actual consoles are being sold, and they're not seeing it move as much through GameStop anymore.
I do wonder, and if somebody out there on You're Wrong has this information, I'd love it. How much digital codes are being sold at GameStop? Because that sounds so crazy to me that somebody would do that.
I went all the way to GameStop and I came back with the code.
To buy the digital code. Like, what? So I wonder what the market share is of that and how important that side of things is to GameStop. Or was that just a desperate attempt to stay relevant many years ago that is now just kind of a legacy thing?
Play some ball with them to have it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, I think this is good news for Sony, and it's good news for what they're building in the future. And at least to me, it's good news for what I think the PS5 is going to end up being. But yeah, it could cause a lot of issues. Like, we've known that Sony has had issues with Amazon in the past, and you can tell by what games are up for pre-order and what aren't. And that's the same thing with Nintendo, with Amazon. And when you piss off these major retailers, that's going to affect your bottom line in a huge way. And that affects us, because if it's harder for us to get our hands on the games or the consoles that we're looking for when we want them most, that's when we start getting angry.
Oh, Nanobiologist pops into You're Wrong, right, and goes, I went and bought a Division 2 code at GameStop store. I used my in-store credit to buy it. So that makes sense, right?
Okay.
That is a good look on it. Good call.
Yeah.
You could just buy PSN cards, the denomination, come back, redeem your money there, do that. That would be another way around it with the moving codes, but whatever. A lot of people writing in to be like, guess what? G2A, not a good place to buy from. Don't buy from G2A. Very sketchy and known to sell codes that are illegal.
Yeah,
stolen codes.
I did not like the look of that website.
Thanks a lot, the Big Dill. You fucker. Final story of the day, number 5. And I'm just going to summarize it for you, all right? Remember when this guy swatted another guy and then the guy got killed by the cops and he did nothing wrong or whatever?
Yeah.
The fuckface who did this is getting 20 years, so good for that. Tim?
Yes.
I'm excited to see people who suck have to go to jail.
Hell yeah, dude.
I hope it happens to more bad people in the future. But more people going to jail is so far away. If I wanted to know more pertinent information, like say what came to the mom and grab shops, where do I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. We're running really late today, aren't we? Yeah. So I'm gonna. Well, no, we're not doing too bad.
We're not bad. that.
No, I don't mean that. You know how usually if we're going long, I usually like to put the ad. I'm going to put the ads here. That's what I'm saying. We're still getting reader mail and everything. I just like to put the ads up when we go a little bit long. So before we get to your new dates, I'm going to give you who's sponsoring the show. First up, it's 23andMe. With 23andMe's health and ancestry service kit, you can explore more than 125 personalized genetic reports that may reveal the link between your DNA and your health traits and more, including your chances of developing certain diseases. 23andMe recently released their newest health report on type 2 diabetes, which tells you your genetic likelihood for developing the disease and gives you personalized results and tools that can help with the prevention. Diabetes is a growing public health challenge. 1 in 3 adults in the United States has prediabetes, but 90% of those with prediabetes don't know they have it. Type 2 diabetes is influenced by genetics. It is not just lifestyle and weight. Type 2 diabetes is a condition that typically develops as we get older and is caused by many factors, including diet, lack of proper exercise, weight gain, and genes. 23andMe's Type 2 Diabetes Reports offers insights into your genetic likelihood for developing Type 2 diabetes and empowers you with personalized results and tools that may help you prevent the disease. The report was developed by 23andMe scientists using data and insights gathered from more than 2.5 million 23andMe customers who consented to participate in our research. I was one of them. We used 23andMe, and I checked all the boxes. Do whatever you need to with me. I did not obviously do it for the diabetes information because it wasn't available yet. Now it is, though. They'll send me results based on that.
And that's the cool thing that I've noticed is,
You
know,
get
we
updates
did it, and then
Yeah.
you get updates, and I'll just be looking at, like, just hanging out, and all of a sudden get a notification. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yo, you got diabetes. Like, what? No, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. But it is like, hey, there's new reports.
But
Go
it's
check
used-
on
It's
her.
like, new information that they have. And, like, because the more people that use it, the more data that they have to understand, like, the likelihood of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's cool stuff.
You, ladies and gentlemen, can order your 23andMe Health Plus Ancestry Service Kit at 23andme.com/games. That's the number 23andme.com/games. Again, 23andme.com/games. Up next, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and more. Tim used these classes for visual effects to make the hype trailer for Kinda Funny 4.0.
Skillshare's great, man. Absolutely love it. Super easy. It's not just video production stuff. It's pretty much anything that you are looking for a tutorial for, and I can attest it is fantastic for video editing, audio production, any of that type of stuff, and it's super useful, super cool. Nick actually used it for oh man, I forgot what it was. One of the intros that he made for us, but recently, and it was like
with Greggy.
no, it wasn't good with Greggy.
I think so.
No, because that was a long time ago. He did something where he learned a new animation skill of like how to make something 3D wraparound, and like all he wanted to do was like one specific technique that he didn't know.
Yeah.
He watched this tutorial that wasn't even about that technique. He just saw that technique in it, so he just forwarded just to that one part, learned it. It's just cool, man. It's like your toolbox, right?
Okay.
Use Skillshare.
Premium membership gives you unlimited access so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. Skillshare is also super affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare. The first 500 of my subscribers to use the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. Go to youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Click on this episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. Use the Skillshare link there. Out today! Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is on early access on Steam. Roof Rage gets a Steam early access update. Darkest Hunter is on Switch. Super Catscape is on PC. Home Grove is on PC. Uni is on PC. A cool piece of content you can get into is over in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The serious tactical firefights of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege are getting seriously cute in a special event that kicks off today. Not an April Fool's joke. The Rainbow is Magic event runs from April 1st through the 8th and takes you to a drastically reimagined plane map where you'll need to rescue and extract Team Rainbow's most valuable target yet, a teddy bear. If you haven't seen this trailer, go watch. It is all pink. It is all neon. It is all adorable. It is all cute with crazy effects and stuff. It makes me honestly want to try to get in there tonight maybe and download it because I think the skins you get to keep, but you have to do the Uplay challenges. Also, Rabbids are invading For Honor for one day only, and then Safety First is out on Switch. Portello, it's time to check in with the readers.
Oh my god, he's so excited. Look at him.
Look at him. He's conserving his energy. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to get too far. Porty, don't put your head up. Yeah, okay, there you go. I'm glad you're with us. Thank you very much. The 2038 Pokémon CEO writes into patreon.com/kindafunnygames and says, April Fool's questions. What are some of your favorite April Fool's Days pranks? Have you fell for any? Have you ever produced an April Fool's Day prank? Greg, was creating the Roper Report any different today? And then also Super Smash Brothers Best Buy Joker. Tim, stop being distracted by the Joker render. Did you see this thing?
Yes.
This rumor thing, it's all BS. Is it real? What's happening?
It's all I didn't see it was a rumor.
I mean,
Joker
it's
thing?
April Fool's Day. There's been a whole thing floating around. I don't know.
That was this weekend.
Oh, okay.
The
So that's real.
Joker thing is 100% real.
So what was it? Best Buy
just posted a render of Joker that's
Okay.
new. It's a Smash pose.
Gotcha.
Probably his amiibo.
Okay.
You'd imagine. Yeah,
It's cool.
it's cool. The most interesting news from this is that Nintendo, I guess it was the last Direct, they said that 3.0 is coming, Smash 3.0, and that Joker was coming before the end of April. And this was back in March. And then they updated the image for the Challenger packs to say April. But then recently they updated it where it just says coming soon. So I don't know what that means. I don't like it one bit though, Greg.
Okay.
I will give you an update though on my Spirit collection.
Please do.
Down to 17.
Wow.
17 left, ladies and gentlemen.
How many hours left is that to play?
God, I don't know. I'm hoping to get all the Spirits by the end of our New York trip.
Oh, wow. Okay. Start spreading the news. April Fool's Day. What does it do for you anymore on the internet?
It's over, dude. That's the
Everyone should stop,
the
right?
time
I feel like it's
passed.
time to stop.
Yeah, the internet has kind of just changed the game where it's like if you have funny content, just put the funny content out. And I feel like this was true a long time ago.
Yeah. Now, here's what I'll say. Because, the question is from Pokémon CEO here, like, favorite ones or whatever. Like, we've talked about that at length. Today, I did get got. And I got by IGN. Have you seen the stuff they did today?
The Nintendo Direct thing?
Exactly. They did this giant fake Nintendo Direct that was fake as fuck, and I'm like, why did you guys waste time on this? And have fun, enjoy your life. Who fucking got me was IGN UK. I woke up to walk Portillo. He wanted to get up at 6 a.m. today. I think he just wanted pets. It was very adorable, but then I walked him anyway. And I'm out there, and I open up the thing, and I'm going, and IGN UK tweeted out, it's back or whatever, and it was a trailer, like 30-second trailer for them doing Prepare to Try with Sekiro. And it was Screbbles and two other guys that I don't know from the UK thing. And I was like, and I got included because some kid responded to the tweet of like, did you learn anything from Up at Noon? Just let fucking products die for the people. We're all with Rory and all of that. And I was like, wow, this is fucked up. And I watched the trailer with no sound on because I was walking the dog on the street. And I was like, I can't. And I was like, somebody finally responded like, April Fool's, dude. And I was like, they got me good. They got me good.
That's
like,
awesome. But that's inside baseball enough that it's like
exactly
it's a joke for the people.
And that's why it was a good one of like I was sitting there like I do know that IGN hates to let go of IP. Even if the people who made, and I'm not even like throwing shade. Even like when Colin and I left Beyond, they're like, we keep Beyond, which was a good thing. Dornbush is great. Don't get me wrong. And like Up at Noon, Brian co-owned that show. We made that show together.
I literally had to have a conversation with them about whether or not I can say let Tim host on things. That was a real thing that happened, and they didn't say I could at the end of the day. But fuck that shit. Are you kidding? What, are you going to use that again? Go hire another Tim, you assholes.
Yeah, fuck you, Fran, and your terrible decisions. We'll see you at work in a couple days.
Most of this was Fran.
And then we hired his ass. Who's laughing now?
God, I love it.
Rory hired Joe Scrabbles.
But the thing with the April Fool's jokes is and we learned this at IGN. Like, were we a part of it? Yes. Like all the IGN videos for as long as we were there, we did.
Oh yeah.
April Fool's things. And it turned into a thing of, we didn't want to do it for April Fool's. We wanted to do it because it was our only opportunity to make fun, cool videos there.
Make original stuff, right? Yeah. Off the wall weird stuff.
We had no outlet for that. And at some point it was like, let's just do cool stuff. And every single person making the stuff was like, we don't want to put this out on April Fool's. We want to just put this out at any other day to not have it be associated with this. And it sounds like the Nintendo Direct thing IGN did today. Very cool. Honestly, very cool. However, I would have loved it if it was any other day. Just put out a funny video of a fake Nintendo Direct. Today it has all this tainted stuff, man. Tainted stuff.
Why'd you do it? I mean, I don't know.
Make funny videos.
I know that's the thing. If you want, because I would love to see people make funny fake video games or funny fake videos, right? And but like if IGN did it out of the blue, it'd be random. If they said, "Hey, we're announcing a new show that is IGN what if," and it's just shit like that, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do we know though? We work here. Tim for fucking 7 years been saying he's gonna make list videos one day. I don't see any list
One day,
videos.
dude. No list. It's true.
I'm gonna give you Tanner Richards the final question of the day. He wrote in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, good morning, Greg and Tim. With the recent release of Sekiro, loving it so far, I've rediscovered a feeling I haven't felt since my younger years. That is, of course, the feeling of wanting to throw my controller across the room and watch it shatter into a million pieces. My question is, has there ever been a game that frustrated so much that you've actually made a controller meet its maker? I can shamefully admit I remember 2 occasions of breaking controllers around my middle school days. Thanks for continuing to put out amazing content each and every week. Hope you all have a great day. Tanner. Tim, you ever broken controller in anger?
No, I didn't. I've been really angry from games, but
Yeah.
I don't lash out
Never
physically.
like
Yeah,
$70
yeah.
angry.
Yeah, never $70
angry.
angry. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. That's just not how I show my frustration.
Sure. Yeah, it was.
I've shit myself.
Jesus Christ, out of
That's
anger?
not true.
Damn. If we were about to be like, we've worked together this long and talked about games this long, and you've never told the story of how you were so angry at Banjo Kazooie you shit yourself. I broke a controller for sure. You know, I didn't throw them often like Kevin saying. You know, there's lots of stories of Poe punching things in my room when I beat him at Madden or whatever. For me, it was in college, freshman year, across the hall. My friend John was as obsessed with WWE as I was. And so we were over there playing SmackDown on PS1 in his room. And he had made this fucking character, Johnny Circumstance, I believe. And he was a high flyer, and he would just jump off the top rope, and if he connected at all, his SmackDown meter would shoot up or whatever. And I was using, I grew some Greggy probably or whoever, but was more well-rounded or whatever. And like, I arguing, I'm sure John's watching right now. I was better than him at this game, all right. But he got these cheap victories with this cheap high flying bastard.
Johnny Circumstance is a great name.
I wonder if he. And I was about to say I wonder if he still has it. I forget. Of course, he's an adult. No, he probably didn't keep his PS1 memory card floating around. Anyways, though, yeah, it was someday. It had been a rough day at school. We were there playing, and he started pulling this bullshit in a match I clearly should have won. I was already doing. It was my controller doing this whatever, and I was sitting on the ground in his room, and of course I'm sure most dorms are, but our dorms especially, we're just, you know, a slab of concrete, and I'm just sitting there playing or whatever, and he started pulling this shit and started pulling it. He started coming back, and I got so mad, I was, and I slammed it on the ground, and it was a dual shock, and so the bottoms of the controllers popped like open, and so like the rumblers were exposed or whatever, and I kept playing and I won the match. So I want that on the record.
Wow,
now
it became a hardcore match.
Now, might it have been that I had scared John so much by slamming my controller in a fit of rage?
Hey, man, the circumstances weren't on his side.
Hey, bada bing, bada boom. It's time to squad up. This is where one of you writes in to kindafunny.com. Damn it, no. Patreon.com/kindafunny. Games. I know. Shot caller. You never ordered it. You give me your name, username, platform of choice, all that jazz. I read it here. The best friends come and find you. Everybody plays games and has fun together. Today, it's from earlier in the comments. 2038 Pokemon CEO needs help on Pokemon Go. His Pokemon Go code is 7628013744264. I live in the middle of nowhere Midwest and could use some gifts. If anyone lives near Mankato, Minnesota, somehow let me know and we can squad up for raids. There you go. If you live near Mankato, Minnesota, go ahead and hit him up on Pokemon Go. 7628013744264. So this is the guy who wants to be Pokemon CEO in 2038.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one who walks around with the clock, and now he's walking around with a desk getting it signed.
Yeah.
You've met him?
I have met him in Japan.
Is he as
Haven't we met him?
is he all of this?
No,
is he like this?
I don't think so.
What's
I think it's only
the desk,
me.
the clock?
He is amazing.
Okay.
He is a very special human being, and I don't think I've ever met anyone like him, and I don't think I ever will. He is very fascinating, and I kid you not, he will be CEO of Pokemon one day.
Yeah, he got interviewed by like what the news?
Many people.
Yeah.
He is.
It's weird though.
Working his way up, man.
It's weird that I live in the middle of nowhere and then you met him in Japan, right?
Yeah, I don't remember why he was there, but
Yeah.
he was.
All right. Now, did you just Google this, Kev?
Yeah.
So if you Google 2038 Pokemon CEO, you'll find Nick over here, and you can see his little interview right there.
He has a conspiracy theory that Fat Pikachu is fake, and that was never really Pikachu.
Is it good? Is that a good theory?
I mean,
I feel like
you know, he
that
stands
kind of
by it.
stuff is what will keep him from being Pokemon CEO. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know, dude.
Where's Fat
Pikachu?
When he comes in for the
Where's he
interview
been?
with all his desks and clocks that have been signed over the year, they might be, you know what?
I don't know, man.
I want to see this desk. Oh, there it is.
See, there it is.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
It's time for You're Wrong. This is where I ask people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell me what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Looking at these. I'm looking at these. I don't think any of them matter. I don't think they matter except for that. Do you see this one from Nanobiologist?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
You're confirming or denying that. While you do that, then I'm going to tell you, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You can submit your bad PSN names, your questions, everything else over there, and just hang out with us. It's great. That's where you put in the squads up. It's what you do. Then you can watch the show live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Later, use youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or roosterteeth.com and listen on podcast services around the globe.
Did you read this capitalist pig one?
No, it's not sourced, and I don't think it's like your wrong thing.
Well, I asked him. So.
Did you? I didn't hear you ask. My apologies.
Regarding GameStop digital sales for holiday of 2019, digital receipts increased to 352.9 million, driven primarily by strength in sales of digital currency. Total sales were 2.63 billion. This means roughly 13% of the GameStop sales were digital for that period. Okay. Interesting. That's not a small number.
No. It's future proofing too, right? Even if you look at it like, oh, well, the majority of it isn't, you see that number goes up every year.
Yeah, and
right?
now it's going to go down because they're not allowed to anymore, at least for Sony's bit of it. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Time to talk about who will be hosting with me this week. And you know what? That was a good contribution from one capitalist pig.
It was.
That's why he'll be here tomorrow. That's right. Frequent contributor to You're Wrong. Capitalist pig is coming in to host tomorrow with me. Wednesday, it's going to be Gary Witta and question marks. I think I got a job in LA I need to go do, so I hit up Fran and I haven't heard back, but I'll keep you posted. Thursday, it's going to be me and Andrea, and then Friday, Fran and Andrea. Frandria. This is the Frandria.
Yeah.
Throw all you mangoes.
What?
I was looking for something that rhymes with Frandria, but it
So
just
you
doesn't.
ended with mangoes.
Hey man, you know what I mean?
I get it.
We'll be in New York. Remember, New York, it is your time to shine. Can you outshine Kansas City? Can you bring more people? Or are you all full of shit? That's the big question. You know what I mean?
We've never been over there, man.
It's kind of funny. It's like a giant
we've been
team.
to PAX East, so Boston a bunch of times, but like we've never been to New York. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a big one for
Exciting
us.
stuff.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Portillo, and it's been my pleasure to serve you.
Man, he doesn't give a fuck.